Alright, so I am here at what is supposed to be the entrance to Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. It's a very old historic cemetery that evidently is haunted. I don't know, how much I buy into that kind of thing. So we are supposed to go across the street, and somewhere alongside these two cell phone towers is supposed to be the entrance, and the cemetery should be at the end of the road. So I'm gonna see if I can find it. I love cemeteries, and like I said, this one is apparently pretty special. So I just wanted to pop in and give a very brief rundown of some of the history behind the settlement of Bachelor's Grove. It says that it began as early as the late 1820s, with large numbers of immigrants arriving in the 1830s and 1840s. Now, this cemetery is located in Illinois, and from what I understand, it is one of the oldest in the entire state. Compared to the rest of the country, I'm not sure exactly, but certainly one of the oldest in the state of Illinois. And a couple of key notes are the first official burial is recorded to have been in 1844, but there's a little bit of differing information, because records obviously wouldn't be perfect. So it is possible that the first burial actually occurred in 1838, which is mentioned right here in this paragraph, as you can see. I'll kind of just leave it frozen here if you want to read. And the last burials to take place are believed to have been in 1965 and in 1989. So it's been raining pretty good today, but it is calming down now, so I'm hoping that I don't get too much wind in this video. At least for now, the rain has died down, so I'm not going to be getting wet. And this is really beautiful so far. It's very lush and green out here. I do think the plants have really been enjoying the rain. So, as you can see, we just have this very simple footpath. And I don't know how long it's gonna be before I get there, so we'll just have to see. In my previous two videos, I'd already seen both of those places before deciding to film, so everything that I'm seeing today is actually the first time I'm seeing it. There are forest preserves nearby, so I assume this is sort of an extension of that. Yeah, it's beautiful over here. Now, the area that I parked in across the street is called the Rubio Woods Forest Preserve, I believe. And I assume that those forest preserves are meant to be navigated on that side of the road. But there was no one else parked there. And here we are. This is it behind the fence. It's a very small cemetery. Yep, not even a label. Very cool. What I was reading on Google reviews is that people consider this place to be really creepy. There's been supposedly some paranormal activity or vibes here. And while it is a pretty gloomy day outside, I've got to say I'm not really getting that. But it's certainly still special. A lot of fake flowers planted around here. And I really like how surrounding it on the back side you just have, well, I guess technically the front side, you just have the forest in all directions. It's pretty empty on this side. And so I guess these are headstones as well. They do have flowers on them, but they don't have names and really just look like stones. So I'm pretty sure based on the flowers, they must also have people buried under them. There's another one right here. I don't know if I've seen anything like that before. Right here we have a tree that I guess crushed the fence. Oh wow, look at this. I'm not going to go too far down, it's pretty muddy, but there's a pond back here. Up that way is the road. Oh, this is really cool. I heard stuff moving around in the pond. I don't know if it was fish or turtles or what it was. I was hoping I would be able to see it. Oh look, there's some ducks out there. And there is a little pathway leading this way. I don't know if this is on purpose or what. Looks like it is. Maybe this connects to some forest preserves somewhere with a trail. Very cool. I did not expect this either. So one thing I will say is I do wish there was a little less road noise here. Just so I could really take in the ambience a bit better, but it's just a minor complaint. It's still really peaceful during moments when the traffic dies down, so let's go back and finish the tour here. So this one looks like a tree stump. Again, fake flowers in the ground. So I assume that's another burial site. And almost all of these are nameless. You know, the longer I'm here, the more I'm starting to kind of get the weird vibe. It just feels I don't know. It feels a little bit sad, you know? I guess all cemeteries are kind of sad, but this one just feels especially lonely. And very primitive as well. Not very much nice looking modern stuff in here. See, this just makes me sad. Based on what I'm seeing, I think maybe a young child might be buried here, or maybe multiple children, I don't know. So I did do a little bit of research, and it looks like people leave toys to sort of honor the memory of children that are buried here, particularly one child who passed away in 1914. And you will see that headstone come up later in the video. I'll just put a label in here to let you know which one that is. But there are a lot of toys, especially on that one. So it looks like I was right about that. I was just confused because I know that this cemetery has mostly people who passed away a long time ago. So I was wondering why toys were being left now. It seems like people often are doing that for paranormal reasons, maybe trying to just leave it as an offering or find a way to connect with a ghost. So that's why, and I just wanted to drop in and explain that. This is really interesting here. So this long, skinny piece of stone. This is really cool, the way this is built. The more closely I start to examine these headstones, the weirder the vibe gets. I am sort of starting to see that now. Very archaic, decayed looking stuff, which I expected, but when I first walked in, I think I was a little misguided. I just thought, okay, you know, it's a small historic cemetery, but when you really pay attention to the state of things, it's pretty sad. Definitely has a little bit of an eerie vibe. Spots like this, I don't know if they used to be a bigger, more pronounced headstone, or if they've always kind of just been simple. But this is broken into a bunch of pieces. See, this looks a little better. All along through here, I suspect this is all one burial site within this border. And it's very overgrown on the right side, but I think you can see what I'm talking about. But then there's another headstone back here. Wow. This is beautiful. I am hoping that since this cemetery is so old that I'm not necessarily being as disrespectful by capturing names. So this one really is decked out in quite a bit of stuff. It's covered in moss. I think I picked the perfect day to come because it was raining the entire drive out here. I'm about an hour away from it. So I was worried I wouldn't really be able to get a good video. But it stopped raining as soon as I got here, and there's no one else here. So, perfect day for this. Alright, so that was pretty much the whole place. A couple of people did show up right as I was leaving, but I think that was the perfect time to be here. And I didn't experience anything strange, but the vibe is definitely something pretty special. Feels very very lonely, very isolated, and you can sort of feel the old world presence and, you know, all the decay of the headstones is pretty eerie to see. I guess that's gonna conclude the video. I'm gonna go ahead and walk back to my car because oddly enough, it's pretty cold out and my hands are starting to feel kind of chapped. So I think it's time to go back to the car. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.